So I'd like to break our conversation down into three areas: prevention, detection, and response. So from a prevention standpoint, ransomware is on the rise. What can health systems do to prevent or prepare for these types of hacking attacks?
So I think, to think about prevent, detect, and respond is the right way to think, right? And and I think the best controls are preventative controls. So things never happen, hopefully, right? And I think as an industry, we have made some good progress in the last 6 or 7 years around prevention controls. Most organizations had firewalls for the last 10, 15 years. So that's a given now. There are a new generation of firewalls that are happening that are really good at application level analysis and so forth. That area. But I think the biggest bang for buck an organization can probably get from a prevention point of view is probably from a technology. I will talk about this in a technology and then human sense. So two categories. From a technology point of view, in my opinion, is multi-factor authentication. Okay, and it just makes it very difficult for someone who is actively trying to access information. It does not. It's not a cure-all, it's not a silver bullet, but I think that multi-factor authentication has been a challenge in healthcare to implement because of cultural reasons and the need for physicians to get to a patient record immediately and so on and so forth. So there have been reasons that it has not, industry has not adopted it wholeheartedly. Like if, for instance, in banking or other commercial industries, most of them, their workforce has to use two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication. Secondly, I think in almost now most of the breaches that we see, which are under hacking, or you mentioned ransomware, involve some person doing something that they're not supposed to do. So it could be opening an email or going to a website and installing something, and that cannot be emphasized enough, I think. Because the only, I think, the real protection that you can do is train your workforce at different levels. So many organizations now have dedicated security teams. They are the experts but those people are probably, a handful of people in any, even size, a large organization, they're a handful. But then you have your folks in technology, who I think money well spent is training them on security, to make them your first line of defense, and then population in general, right? So there are technological solutions. I mentioned MFA, I mentioned firewalls, there are data loss prevention solutions. There are many technological solutions that, we can implement, some of which I mentioned, but I think any organization that is interested in securing and proactively protecting have to tie the human side with the technology that they're implementing.